Hey everybody, my name is Andrew Witt and I am your benefits counselor this year. And I'm sorry about the technical difficulties with the Google Meet. I had to be admitted and I wanted to make sure at least I took a time to do a recording. That way you can at least understand the changes to your benefits this year. And as we get started, I always feel it's important I do two things. I'm going to keep this as short and as informative as possible because thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. The second thing I always like to do, because I haven't worked with you guys in a couple years, and it's finally nice to really be back face to face full time, is just let you know how I ended up in front of you all today. I'm actually a former high school history teacher. I got my career started down in Craven County while I was pursuing my master's degree in education. That brought me up to Wake County, where I taught for several more years, and I still volunteer at the school that I taught at, and that's also how I met my wife. We were both teachers together, and when we knew we were starting our family, we were faced with just some really hard sit-down conversations with both of us being in education. And as I always like to say, since she was pregnant, she had 2 votes, I had 1. So she's still in the classroom today, and I was faced with a career change for the first time in my life. However, I realized something about myself that I think is true for all of us that work in education. We have an intrinsic motivation to want to help others, and I knew I needed to find that in my next career, but I still wanted to work with people I care passionately about. And that's where I found Pierce Group. They handle your supplemental benefits for the school system, and they've been doing that from the mountains to the coast for the past 90 years, helping individuals and families solve problems and provide solutions through these flexible benefits we're going to review today. Now, as we get started, today is just a general benefits briefing, kind of highlight of everything offered to you by the school system. But please remember, I handle your Johnston County benefits, not your state health plan. I cannot answer any questions. I cannot select the 70-30 or 80-20 for you. That is still your responsibility to get taken care of during your annual enrollment. Now, we always begin with some important facts, or rather dates. Your annual enrollment is currently ongoing. I'm slated to be back on November 15th to meet with you individually, answer questions, review anything, and make any adjustments to your benefits. That being said, if that schedule does get filled up, I can add additional time, but we do need to maximize that day first. That being said, any changes that you make during your annual enrollment are effective on January 1, and that coincides with the 12-month plan year that runs the calendar year of 2023. Now, your benefits are always broken down into 2 basic categories. Your top category are your pre-tax benefits. The great thing about enrolling in pre-tax benefits is these come out of our paycheck before Uncle Sam takes his cut, which saves you approximately 30% on any benefit enrolled in. Now, the bottom category are your post-tax benefits. The reason why you'd want to enroll in these benefits with post-tax dollars is something like disability. If something ever occurred and I'm unable to work, that benefit I'm receiving does not count as income, and therefore next April, we're not hit with an unexpected tax burden because we couldn't work for a period of time. That being said, the easiest way to enroll, stop by and see me. Let's review your benefits, make sure everything is set up correctly for the upcoming plan year. If for some reason you're not able to see me when I'm there on the 15th, there is always that online self-enroll option as well. Now, the first benefit we always review is your flexible spending account. This is that government-sponsored program where you can set aside tax-free income for your qualified medical expenses. And those range from prescriptions, co-pays, your deductible, to eye care and dental work, as it was expanded to cover over now 4,000 different things as well several years ago. The great thing about the account, they're customizable. You select the dollar amount, beginning of the plan year, it's readily available, then just divided equally by pay period that you have throughout the plan year. Now, the annual maximum is $2,750, or sorry, $2,850. I apologize about that. There is that rollover provision that is included. However, anything above that rollover provision of $570 is subject to the use it or lose it rule. So please make sure you plan accordingly. That being said, this is a benefit you do have to actively re-enroll in on an annual basis. Now, another type of flexible spending account is called a dependent care account. Works the same basic way as the health care, setting aside tax-free money, saving you that approximate 30%, but typically it's used for children up to the age of 13 for things like before or after school care, summer day camps, daycare expenses. Why this is a significant benefit: as a family, you are allowed to set aside up to $5,000 of tax-free income to help go towards those needs. However, please remember this does have that use it or lose it rule, and you do need to actively re-enroll in that every year. Now, Call a Doc has been a great benefit. You can set up doctor's visits 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, much in the same interface you're doing right now, right online, and they can even write prescriptions to your local pharmacy and you can get a physician on the line and typically in about 15 minutes. Dental has not changed. There's always 3 plans available. Regardless of which plan you have, 100% of your diagnostic and preventative services are covered. After your deductible, all plans cover your basic services at 90%. That's if you have a simple extraction to a cavity being filled. Now, if you are expecting major dental work, you want to make sure you're on the high or PPO plans, as those are what covers 60% of your major services. Those are your crowns, bridges, and root canals, as well as that orthodontics benefit for our dependent children. Now, vision has not changed. Every year you get your annual eye exam. Then based on your prescription, your materials are covered from your contacts, lenses to your frames. But please always remember, the year that you get frames is in lieu of that contact lens benefit. Now, long-term disability is a great benefit. We've always heard about these things, long COVID, to other medical issues that are just keeping folks out for a longer period of time. You can get a benefit put in place to helpfully secure your family's long-term financial future, as this benefit will cover up to 5 years out of work and does not coordinate with any other benefits you might have in place. Now, the rest of your benefits are through Colonial Life. And the reason why Pierce Group, as well as Johnson County, chooses to employ Colonial Life is simply put, they're the best at what they do in the nation today. And there's 3 main things that set them apart. These benefits pay regardless of anything else you might have in place. They're paid direct to you, and they are portable, meaning should you ever leave the school system, you take them right with you and put them on a bank draft. Now, the first benefit we always review is your cancer benefit. And whether this is our first time or 10th time together, sadly, we can all probably say this with 100% confidence, but all of us have been affected by cancer, whether it's been a friend, a coworker, a family member, and the cost of a cancer diagnosis is just so much more than our medical expenses. This benefit is built to be that financial safety net that when a diagnosis occurs to you, your child, the spouse, it allows you to focus on what's most important, which is getting the treatment you deserve, not ever feeling like you settle for treatment. Now, the only thing I ever want our family to ever use our cancer benefit for is that little red circle you see up there, the $100 in it. You go for your annual, typically free under the health plan. Most common is probably a PAP, mammogram, blood work, cholesterol, or a PSA check. There's 24 exams to choose from. File it right online. They will pay you $100 return of premium, not just for this benefit, but if you have a critical illness medical bridge, it will pay for all of them with a single phone call or file online, and it pays per person covered if everybody is going for annuals. That being said, if there ever is a diagnosis, I hope you have your $5,000 or $10,000 initial diagnosis benefit built on that pays before you even make a claim for any medical treatment. Then, based on your treatment program, it will take off, whether that's through radiation and chemotherapy, medical imaging studies, experimental treatment to surgical procedures. If they ever recommend that you travel to go get treatment, maybe you have to take a child up to the Dana-Farber Clinic, I can guarantee as families, we will figure it out. There is a transportation and lodging benefit built in, not just for the individual diagnosed, but also for a loved one to travel with them and give them the support they need while they undergo that treatment. Your extended care benefits like hospice are also built in, and I absolutely hope those are never needed. Unfortunately, what I have learned during my time as a benefits counselor, cancer is the one thing, no matter who you are, it does not discriminate. And this benefit being pre-taxed with what that wellness is, it becomes beyond economical this day and age. And simply put, with the statistics the way they are, where it's typically half of all men and a third of all women will experience a diagnosis, it's something our family will never go without. Now, the opposite side of that is your critical illness benefit. This is your heart plan. It's guaranteed issue for all employees this year. No health questions. Covers you for catastrophic specified events: heart attack, stroke, renal failure, organ failure, sudden cardiac arrest, hospitalizations due to infectious diseases, as well as progressive diseases like ALS, MS, to Alzheimer's and dementia as well. It provides a lump sum benefit in the event of something catastrophic, either $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, whatever you elected during your time of enrollment, and it will pay multiple times. Should you have a heart attack one year, another event the following year, and something after that as well. And if something ever occurs and we can't pull through, that benefit will be immediately passed along to our families during their time of need as well. Now, your disability, probably one of the biggest things we're going to talk about today, as it is a brand new benefit. The old benefit that all of you are currently on was introduced in 2004, before the first iPhone was a thing. They finally updated the benefit. We always know it covered us 24/7 on and off the job for physical related things, car accidents to COVID. Now, there are some major changes. Please listen up if you stopped paying attention already. Mental health is now covered as a sickness. If you can't work due to anxiety, depression, stress, headaches, that income will now be protected. Now, a lot of young women have used this for maternity leave, but sometimes that doesn't come as planned, and we have to look for other things, a way to expand our family. Adoption is now included as a benefit as well, should you choose to go that route. So you can now have the time off necessary to bond with that new family member. Now, people ask me every day of the week, Andrew, I think I got sick days, annual leave days. Is this something I really need to have in place? The big thing I tell all of you, what my mentors told me, is if your paycheck plays an active role in your family's budget, or maybe you're an individual where your paycheck just is your budget, you need to have some form of disability in place to prevent you from going into debt, raiding savings, losing things you've worked incredibly hard for. And if your disability is there for you and your financial well-being, the accident benefit is for your loved ones. If you have kids that are athletes, they're teen drivers, they're like my hyenas that are a tad accident prone, or you have a spouse that acts like a child, great benefit. Covers sports-related injuries, hunting, fishing incidences, broken bones, concussions, lacerations to bee stings and dog bites that might need emergency treatment as well. Now, your medical bridge. This has been one of the most enrolled in benefits because the state health plan, unfortunately, I think we can all agree, is not as strong as it used to be. And a supplement is almost a needed benefit this day and age to protect our families. It provides a lump sum benefit if you're ever hospitalized over 20 hours to hopefully cover your deductible and some coinsurance. Then, with the daily option, it will build at $100 a day, as well as that ICU option that will cover you for $500 a day. Now, where most folks really use this benefit is the outpatient surgical procedures that are covered, from tonsils being taken out, the polyps removed due to a colonoscopy, to more invasive things like a hysterectomy, knee surgery, to cataracts done later on in life. Also, diagnostic work is covered. If you ever have a leak procedure, breast, liver, thyroid, do a skin biopsy, to CAT scans and MRIs, those are covered now as well. Now, where a lot of folks fall in love with this benefit is the medical treatment package. You have covered if you ever have an emergency room need or an ambulatory service need. That being said, though, probably my favorite feature about it, as a family being covered, you get 5 doctor's visits a year that'll pay you $25 each time you go to help take care of any copays. It's 3 visits if it's just an individual on the plan. But that's what I love about the medical bridge as a benefit. I've got a cancer plan. I never want to use it. However, with this benefit, what I like about it is it's one we're all going to actively use, and we're going to use it more as we get older. Now, life insurance. I think we've all learned about the fragility of life over the last several years and the responsibility we have to our families. Now, there's 2 options available. There's term and there's whole. I like to call them whens and ifs. Whole life is for the whens. When I'm not there at the start of my career, I couldn't afford to burden my parents. We just weren't a family financially blessed enough to absorb $20,000, $25,000 plus of final expenses. By taking that responsibility, though, and locking in my rate as low as I could, I know that that burden of final expenses won't be the last thing I leave my wife or kids at that point, because I hope my win is not until I'm about 95. That's whole life. It's permanent. It builds cash value. It's a guaranteed level premium that's never going to change. You may also put it on your spouse, children, as well as your grandchildren to lock in their rates as low as it'll ever be. Now, when I became a dad several years ago, I had to stop thinking about the whens. As a parent, I had to take care of the ifs. If I'm not there next week, what does my wife need to raise the people I care most about in this universe? That's term life, meant to be an astronomical benefit, help cover future housing needs, family's current standard of living, maybe future education. It's the most economical type of life insurance because it only lasts for a period of time, 10 to 30 years. I hope I pay mine over the next 30 years and I eventually see my kids grow up and move out of the house. However, if we've learned anything, is the responsibility we have to our families to make sure our life insurance is updated, because that's ultimately how we protect our families in the event we're not there. Now, if you ever sitting there and you go, man, I'm listening to this thing, I got a cancer benefit, how come I didn't get $100? Or I got a medical bridge, where are my doctor's visits? File them online or over the phone. You only need 3 pieces of information: doctor's phone number, date you went, test you had done. File it over the phone. If you do it online, set up direct deposit. They'll pay you right to your bank account within 48 hours, which really makes it just easy and convenient. Now, throughout the year, you always have your policyholder portal available to you. Check your claim status, change beneficiaries, review any benefits. If you're thinking about what's covered, maybe what not is covered, check there first. And if you ever need continued support throughout the year, you lose your flex card, you got a question about dental, do not wait till next October or November to ask me when I'm there. Contact our service team throughout the year. They will assist you with any needs that you might have. Now, if all you did was gloss over, you stopped paying attention after the first 5 minutes, I can't blame you. It's a recording. However, if you're only going to think about 3 things until you see me on November 15th, flexible spending accounts always got to be re-enrolled in. Disability, huge year for disability. Make sure you update your plan because it will not automatically update the one that you're on. And lastly, folks, okay, all we've done over the last several years is put everybody else's needs in front of our own, our students, their families, the broader community. When we talk about your benefits for the annual enrollment, this is the one time a year where you get to put you and your family at the front of the line. Make sure you see me. Let's get your benefits in order. That way you and your family, you know you're protected and can enter that next plan year with confidence. I tried to keep this as short and as informative as I could. I'm sorry about those technical issues we ran into, but please make sure you see me on the 15th. Let's get everything taken care of, and that way you can have an awesome start to your plan year. Have a great day. I really do appreciate it, and thank you.